Talk Indo from Jakarta with Sarah and guest host Governor Fauzi Bowl. Hot topic number 2, public service. Now, it's easy to place responsibility on our government leaders for what goes on in our city. We elect them, pay them, and trust them to spend our tax dollars. The 2011 Jakarta budget, correct me if I'm wrong, Governor, was 36 trillion rupiah, or the equivalent of $3.8 billion. But there is also personal responsibility, things that we as citizens can do to help make our city more livable and a better place. And before we go on to that, I want to add to that short list. I said qualities to be the best Jakarta governor. One was, you said no Jakarta. What are one or two others, quickly?
Well, management skills, definitely.
Yes,
to lead
I do agree with that. And then the person has to need a clear vision. Clear vision to make Jakarta a world-class city. Not only that, a strong city, resilient city, humane, and livable.
Okay, okay. Good short list. Now, let me start with the personal responsibility. Very simple thing. I was in a McDonald's parking lot the other night. I looked down. There was trash all over the lot.
Too much,
there was
too much
Big Mac wrappers, cups, and the trash bin was a few feet away.
Yeah.
Why can't people just simply walk over and drop it in? Especially parents,
yes,
because kids do what their parents do.
It's a way of life. You need to re-educate people. Well, what we need in Jakarta is that citizens must love Jakarta stronger, as I said before, and have their sense of belonging to the city of Jakarta increase. And then only in so doing we can ask them to improve their participation in the many aspects of life in Jakarta.
You start small and work your way up.
Yes.
Why don't you have like icons or like sexy campaigns? I don't mean sexy, but you know, like
he's been bringing this up
speaking
a few times,
like a Jupe. Have Jupe go out picking up trash with you. Everyone will do it because they want to help you and Jupe.
But Alden, that's a good idea. But we've been doing this already for years. You know, you may not notice that, you know, many of the Rukun Warga, the neighborhood, the smallest neighborhood, they have already bank sampah, waste bank, where people bring all their waste, the household waste, to the bank and registered it, and they got a credit in return. Well, this is a mechanism.
We don't know enough about that. See, no one knows about it.
Yeah, but there are plenty. I mean, 700 and 800 neighborhoods are doing that already, but we have more than 2,000 neighborhoods in Jakarta.
Sure.
The problem is how to replicate this into that level.
So we should say, from an individual standpoint, you got to do your own part.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
I think we've been saying that on this show over and over again. For months, that you know what, it's rather than just saying everything's on the government, each and every single one of us should take a part and actually say that we have ownership over our land, over our place, and
people have to care.
Yeah. People have to care. Yes.
Okay, smoking. Thursday was World No Tobacco Day. I think we knew that. And I realize how many jobs are created here by the tobacco industry, so it's a tough balance. Smoking is legal. It's not illegal like drugs, but not in restaurants, malls, buses, public places. It's prohibited, so why do so many people still do it, and how do we fix that?
Right.
Yes, Jakarta is the first province and the first city in Indonesia, throughout Indonesia, that imposed a regulation on prohibiting smoking.
And many people commend you for that, Governor, for being tough.
I think we want to play a leading role in this particular issue. Law enforcement is the weakest point. It's a different story. It's the weakest point.
As we know,
we actually want to invite all the other stakeholders as well to impose this regulation. I mean, play a kind of policing. In
individuals can. My friend said last night he was at a restaurant. The guy next to him was smoking.
Yeah.
He told him, "Sir, it's no smoke." He said, "So what? I mean, what do? You're going to fight? No, you don't want to fight.
No, but
the shop owner has to.
Yeah, the shop owner has to be responsible for that. I mean, the restaurant owner has to be responsible.
So you should fine the shop owners.
Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're registering that, and we give a warning sign to them, and we warn them. But it's still a long way to go.
So it would be possible for the everyday citizen who sees something like that happening to actually report it to the government and say, hey, or the police.
We have citizens arrest.
Citizens arrest.
No, but we will send a warning letter to all that.
And until next time, you're going to get fined. Yeah. Be tough. All right. Traffic. Obey personal responsibility. I think if 1 out of 10 drivers obeyed traffic laws and signals, traffic would move 50% better.
Story will be different.
Right?
I do
if
agree
everybody
with you.
stopped at red lights and slowed down on yellow lights, stayed in their lanes, half the traffic problem. But why? Why can't that be done here?
One of the biggest problems, I just have to mention again about the correlation or the significance of whenever it rains, for example.
Yeah.
All the motorcycles stop under a bridge,
or whatever.
They don't want to get wet.
So
it's not illegal to stop there, is it?
What do we think about providing maybe shelters or whatever for all of them to stop on the road?
Well, they will choose the easiest way. That is stopping in the middle of the road,
right,
and without being wet. So that's what's happening. And here again, I think law enforcement is the only way to go. Yeah, we usually send law enforcers to rush them and to push them away from the street, because otherwise it's going to add that jam and stopping.
Sure.
And of course,
on regular days, not just rainy days.
And of course, we can't talk about traffic without talking about infrastructure. We can't talk about traffic without talking about crash again. We can't talk about traffic without talking about the increased number of mode of transportation in terms of cars and motorcycles.
Okay, but then we're getting to the larger issue. I'm talking about personal responsibility, what we can do on our own.
One of the biggest issues I've heard from my friend, for example, is motorcyclist owners. Usually they go to buy and they think straight away that automatically I will get to my destination faster if I go on a motorcycle. And then they have to
there's
go
no rules for motorcycles.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what happened. So what we're trying to do is now to offer them a better public transport and move them by regulation into that public transport. So we will going...
Now is bus, later on mass transit.
We're going to impose the restriction like everybody has in Singapore, and that's going to be a part of a day of life.
Okay. What about food kitchens, homeless shelters, things that make a city more benevolent to its less fortunate? We don't have those here yet.
We do provide them in a different way. All the fakir miskin is the responsibility of the pemerintah anyway, the government.
Actually, it's very interesting you bring that up, because my family is in social work, and we have a few locations where unfortunately it's still not being seen, Governor, where these people, because they don't have RT or RW, they don't have birth certificates, so it's very difficult to even register them.
Those are particular cases, because if we would allow that, we will go and run into violating the law on one way. But we do care for them. But we cannot automatically, usually put them in a different context and give them a certain of identity. But, it's not going to be the same as the legal
Okay, those are specific. Yes. And as a city matures, we can help more people. When Talk Indo carries on, our dream lists in making Jakarta a world-class city. We are glad you're still watching Talk Indo. Hot topic number 3, dream list. Every great city has something special. Tokyo has its shopping street of Omotesando, as does Singapore and Orchard Road. Paris has the Champs-Élysées. New York has Broadway. Attractions that every other city wishes they had to attract visitors and perhaps shape trends. Now, Jakarta, yes, we can't compare ourselves to other capitals because we are a developing country with serious problems to fix. But let's start with one of the simplest of infrastructure projects, sidewalks.
Oh, I love how you bring that up.
You need to be able to get out and walk on foot so basic business can be done. People can just stroll, right, Governor?
Yes.
Yes. Here again, we need a strong law enforcement. Because, we have, like Tamrin, Sudirman, we set already a very broad pedestrian walk. But, it's usually violated by other parties. And we need a strong law enforcement. But let me come to the list.
Okay. My list was better sidewalks. What's your first? What's first on your list?
Yes, that's one of them anyway. But I'm not going to go into detail. I'd like to see citizens of Jakarta that are more passionate about their city, love the city stronger, and then they can take part of many activities that needs participation from the public. And then also, I wish to have more authority to manage this city, because we have to share many authorities with the central government for the capital city. And I wish also that we have more support from the central government, because this is the capital city anyway. And,
so you want more power, but more support. That's hard to do.
Yeah, both. You know, we cannot improve our infrastructure without the, you know, without
sure.
It is not necessary to be in terms of money, but give us access to foreign finance.
I was about
go
to
see the president and just say, come on.
Is part of the problem actually for you to be able to move faster? Is it because of the central government?
Bureaucracy. Not central government in particular, but
you've seen it your whole career because you've been in there. You know how slow it takes, right?
Yes, but it's not going to be easy it's not going to be to happen overnight anyway.
Okay. Sarah, I need a couple items on your short list.
And my final wish is,
yes, sir.
I wish I could manage the city like, you know, jazz musicians are playing their instrument. Same tune, but still space for improvisation.
That's a good, very good analogy.
At the end of the day, you have a great music.
Beautiful music. Okay, Sarah, your short list. Dreams, make Jakarta world class.
Only a short list?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay, no.
Her list is very long.
I know the list is always long.
It's only because I just went to Japan, your lovely Japan, and
my lovely Japan.
Well, because because you've been there so many times, and your and your mother, your mother was living there. Grandparents, excuse me, again. But I think just because when I was there, it was literally like a dream come true, where the public transportation is working really well, where people can walk anywhere, and literally people do walk anywhere, which means I can eat more. And number 3 is something like and safe. I mean, Tokyo, for example, has what? 45 million population, and yet it doesn't feel like it.
It has to work.
It was working so well, and you're right, it is the mindset of the people.
Okay, so what's your short list? You better...
mass transportation.
Okay, that's...
You're going to have it anyway.
Public transportation.
We're going to have it in Jakarta.
Okay, I thought you were going to say like a proper stage for production, stage productions, a proper world-class theater to bring Broadway
we actually have one. You haven't visited that.
Which one is that?
At the Taman Ismail Marzuki.
I've been there, but is that world-class, Sarah? I mean, she's an actress.
I mean, the new one.
Have you been to this?
No, I have not.
Okay.
The new one.
Well, let's check it out. Okay, one more thing. We'll do the show from the next time.
Yeah, exactly.
My last short list is food quality standards. You know, you got to enforce food quality standards on the street so then people can eat street food. I haven't done it yet in 5 years. Food in Singapore, the street food, yatais in Japan.
We have some places that we can guarantee the quality.
I know,
of
but
food.
you should license everybody.
I should invite you one day.
I'll go with you, Gov.
Okay.
Sarah? Can Sarah come?
Both of you.
Can I add another one? Waste management.
Real quick.
Waste management.
Waste management. That is trash.
Better waste
okay, and that's recycling and everything. Okay, got to move on. Time to check our feedback. And Twitter followers had a lot to say. From May, we have to stand up together to make Indonesia a better country. Didn't you say that, Sarah? We're with you, May. Zezen tweeted this. Couldn't disagree that we should preserve malls as a World Heritage Site. I wasn't really serious.
I think some people took you seriously,
And Yanti said this, blue looks good on you, Mr. DT. My first fashion compliment. Sarah gets it every week. I'm wearing pink.
I told you the blue was working so well.
Keep tweeting, emailing with name and city to talkindo@metrotvnews.com or post a comment on our Facebook page. Final words, Governor.
So Jakarta is celebrating its 485th birthday in June. So I wish Jakarta a happy birthday. Let's work together, harder together, to make Jakarta a world-class city, and believe in number 1.
Number 1, we know what that means. Okay. Sarah, final words.
Well, I was just reminded last Sunday at church by one of the pastors who came to speak. It's definitely about integrity. And when you want to leave a legacy that people will remember you by, that is worthwhile, and that's integrity. When you know what to do instead of what you should do instead of what you want to do. When you are honest in your work, and when you know that wherever you go, people will get the same treatment, and that is with respect.
All right.
So live your life with integrity.
My final words, and the final words on this subject, Lady Gaga. Of course, she was supposed to be in concert here in Jakarta tonight. That it was canceled because of security fears is not good. For one thing, every future artist who is the least bit edgy will think twice about coming here, and this will make conservative religious groups feel even bolder. Now, there can be protests, as there were in the Philippines and South Korea, but the show went on safely in those countries. It should have gone on here.
Here, here.
I wanted to ask the governor about that. But anyway, that's Talk Indo for this week. For Sarah and Governor Fauzi Bowo, I'm Dalton Tanonaka. See you next time.